I want to ask you a question. Who's coaching you? Who's asking you the tough questions? Who's telling you, man, you're the common denominator to all of your issues and challenges? Who's telling you, man, all day long you become the magnetic pulse that attracts to you both good and bad? I want to be your life coach. I want to be the one that cheers you on to the finish line. I want to be the one that you ask the tough questions. And it doesn't mean that I have all the answers, but that means that you have a partner, someone who believes in you, not the you see right now, but the you can't imagine, the you that you are to become, the you were destined to be. I always say we both need the positive and the negative. It's not enough to have the knowledge of the matter, but we must have the wisdom as well. For wisdom settles it. And that's what I want to offer you as you join me on the Coach's Corner. I want to offer you the wisdom of the matter. Maybe it might be relationships, talking about our campaigns for more, for life, the dark room of our subconscious, our spiritual journey. Whatever it is, I want to be there to encourage you, to build you, to challenge you, to cheer you on to the finish line. I'm qualified to do this. Why? Because I'm you.
Thank you so much for joining us right here on SIBN Radio's #1 show, The Coach's Corner. My name is Marcus Lett, a.k.a. The Coach, and as I approach the microphone on today, I do so being aware of my own folly, my own mistakes, but I hope that I can bring to the microphone the wisdoms of the matter. And yes, as we approach the microphone on today, we thank you so much for stopping by. Today we're going to be talking about who's coaching our teenage girls. Who's coaching our teenage girls? We often hear about who's coaching our teenage boys, and that conversation needs to be had as well. But who's coaching our girls? We'll talk about it briefly on today. And let me say thank you so much to all of those of you that are following us on the various platforms where SIBN Television and Radio is airing, and also on the social media platforms where we connect. Twitter at Select USA TV, www.415-96radio.com, as well as those of you that have joined their media club and registered, www.WeSupportSelectUSATV.com as well. And I might be remiss if I did not say thank you to Spreaker fans, Blog Talk Radio fans, and those fans also on Facebook, respectively, on our fan pages. We appreciate you so very much. If you have any questions, dial 1-888-544-1254, extension 85 or extension 101. Let's get to work. Well, we're talking about who's coaching our teenage girls in today's culture, and there is a lot that we need to talk about. But today, just wanted to drop this thought on you that our teenage girls and boys, for that matter, they're going through. They're going through, and they need our support. Wouldn't you say that? They need our support for several reasons, because they're up and coming. I like to say about the boys, logic develops late. Let me say that again. Teenage boys, logic develops late. But sometimes I think in order for us to talk about what's going on between the years of 15 and 17, we should talk about the preparatory work that should have went into play, which I don't have the time to do, but I just want to mention it. The preparatory work that should have went into play in the age RAM, I think it's around, I want to say 9 through 13 or 10 through 13, somewhere thereabouts. Was there structure? Was the work ethic introduced as a possible rewarding factor, giving the young man or young woman the possibility of increasing their capacity to earn money rather than to just give them money? I need some help right there. And so sometimes I'm concerned about the preparatory work that has went into the phase that we're now talking about, 15 through 17 years. The young adult that is evolving and developing. I told my particular son, the last one anyway, I said, son, I told him at 11, told him at 10, 11, 12. I warned him that a storm was coming. the forecast was great. There would be, if I was a weatherman, accumulation, and there would be below degree, what do you call it? The wind chill factor would be below average. The sun wouldn't shine when it's supposed to, and the rain wouldn't stop when it was supposed to, and every now and then you'd have some icy days where y'all get where I'm trying to go with it, right? But I warned him about the storm that was coming, developmentally speaking, psychosocially speaking, psychologically speaking, spiritually speaking, that as he evolves as a teen, as a young person, that he is not going to evolve in peace. I need some help right there. I like that. He's not going to evolve in peace. And so, my first question, of course, is who's coaching our teenage girls? And I'm not talking about just mentoring, but who's coaching them? In other words, who's cheering them to the finish line and saying, no, you're not going to win with that. You're not going to win with that. You're not going to win with constant manipulation of the circumstances and playing one parent against the other, one relative against the other, one friend against the other to get your way. Somebody's got to tell our girls there's a way to get your way, but the way that you're trying to get your way is not the way to get your way. I need some help. Who's coaching our teenage girls to the degree that they're cheering them onto the finish line and they're marking in the sand a line that cannot be crossed unless you are prepared and qualified to cross it? You can't do everything in your mind that you want to do, everything that you feel, and then turn around and everything is going to go your way. It doesn't take but 2 seconds to mess up a situation. I need some help. It don't take but 2 seconds to make, but it takes a lifetime, it seems. Perception is everything, right? It takes a lifetime to build a life. But we don't want to spend our times after we've come out of our teen years trying to repair a life. I need some help right there. There's a difference. Surviving and thriving, repairing and building. I need some help. And the question is, are we challenging our young ladies and our young men to build lives, or are we facilitating a repair mentality? We're always intervening into some crisis or some kind of catastrophe, and we're not facilitating a winning or a championships attitude. And listen, we got to tell our girls, listen, sexy ain't everything. I need some help. It's easy to launch the outward campaign and then complain because others didn't value what you were offering. I need some help. What are we teaching our girls? And listen. And I want to echo the sentiments of all the young ladies out there that may be listening to this program that say, listen, men are men. They see what they see. They hear what they hear. And a lot of them that are not mature want what they want. But girls carry more power than we ever could talk about in this particular half an hour on the show. They carry so much more power because they captivate these boys and these young men with their looks. But then what if they open up their mouths and begin to speak the proverbs of life? I need some help. What if they begin to decree a thing that it may be established? I need help right there. That was a good place for you to tweet. Go ahead, Coach, at Select USA TV on Twitter. But some of y'all just don't do it. You just listen. I don't know what that's about. You just listen. You don't communicate. You don't communicate with the coach and let the coach know you're on point. But it's all right. I love you, though. What are we teaching our teenage girls, man? I mean, so far I have run into a dozen of teenage girls, roughly, who use manipulation throughout their parental interaction to get their way. And half of that dozen that I have seen and witnessed these same patterns in, they all have children out of wedlock. They all have a problem holding a job or having a job that pays enough money. I need some help. They all have issues and challenges communicating with their parents now that they're adults. And I'm wondering, is this easygoing mentality, do what you feel philosophy working? Give them everything they want working. You see, and you got parents out there who are really struggling and trying to provide the best that they can for their children, but they give in to the pressures of their children. I've never heard of that. I never heard of that. Now, you could tell my age about what I ain't never heard. I'd never heard of that. I'd never heard of parents giving in to the kids because of the pressure the kids put on the parents. I just never heard of that. I mean, it exists now, but I never heard of it. I never experienced that. There was no pressure that I could put on my parents for anything. That's a bad thing in some areas, but for anything that they ever gave into anything that I was talking about or interested in, it was their program, their way, or the highway. And that's not all good. But I'm just simply saying to you, we've gone the opposite spectrum now. We went from a culture that had real strict parents and parents that held their kids accountable and parents that held their kids to the fire, foot to the fire, to parents who don't give a doggone. And I'm trying to keep my mouth clean because I'm really hot about this topic right here. Who is coaching our young ladies is the question of the hour. Who's doing it? And I'm not talking about across a pulpit. I'm talking about taking ladies by the hand and say, this is how you use a pair of chopsticks. I need some help. And when you stand in a line right there with a lot of people around you, the first thing you do is this. And when you walk and you move through your school hallways, you don't put your hands on, I need some help. And when you dress in the morning, it depends on what signal you're trying to send, but everything don't have to be tight, short, and showing skin. I need some help because we have to facilitate the fact that our young ladies just don't have bodies. I need some help, but they have brains, and they're to use their brains. I need some help. The ladies have a double-barrel shotgun in this life. They have their looks, and they have their brains. Guys might just have a brain. You see what I'm saying? Because women are not attracted by what they see. I mean, I'm not saying that women are not attracted by what they're looking at, but the primary push and drive and DNA of a woman's attraction is what she's hearing from the man. I need some help. And that's why so many times we look around and we wonder, well, why is she with him? Well, what is he saying to her? And the question I have is, what are we saying in a coaching model to our young ladies? And I have to admit, as a parent myself, I have to admit, we can't keep fussing at them. We can't keep yelling at them. We can't keep screaming at them. We can't keep putting them on punishment. We can't keep, having a breakdown about them. We got to have a conversation that is responsible and respectable. I need some help on both ends of the development. The child that is evolving and becoming an adult, and the parent who is yet learning how, or has never perhaps parented or come this way before, as they say in the old school. I've never come this way before, so let me pay special attention. But even if you've been that way before, if you're a parent and you had 2 or 3 or 4 kids and they're all grown and you got the last one at home, it's like, oh my goodness, why can't I remember what to do? You know what I'm saying? So the conversation has to be without the hostility, without the antagonistic mentality that you're going to do what I say type situation, because that's important, but it's important to a certain level, because at this age group from 15 to 17, independence is coming in, and conflict between the parent really is supposed to diminish, but the increase of independence from 15 to 17 is what's on the table. And if the parent is not careful, they'll misconstrue a developmental issue with an attitude issue. I need some help right there. I may have to go to commercial break right there. Now, you confuse a developmental issue with an attitude issue, and now you want to call your child out for an attitude, when in all reality the child is sad or confused or perplexed about a developmental issue. They're evolving in areas that they can't get confirmation and respect on. I need some help. I'll be right back after the break.
We'll be right back in a moment. Now is the time to have your business online with the Select USA TV iBroadcasting Network. That's right, SIBN or Select USA TV will produce your video on the spot. Picture business videos, on location streaming videos, or on location production videos. Dial 678-830-3118 or call the office at 404-910-5019 Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now is the time to have your business online with SIBN. The Select USA TV iBroadcasting Network now offers picture videos, on-location streaming videos, and on-location production videos for your event cause, brand, or mission. Call today, 678-830-3118 or 404-910-5019. Attention all artists of all genres, now you can be featured on Gas Global Artist Showcase on the CATL show, airing now on SIBN Radio. That's right, all artists now, all genres, wholesome and positive please, can be featured on Gas Global Artist Showcase. Global Artist Showcase on the CATL show, now airing on SIBN Radio. For more information, dial 404-910-5019. That's 404-910-5019. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's right. Or email us at globalcoverage@selectusatv.info.
Responsible. Accountable. Who taught you that? My daddy taught me that. That's right, the new book, all the way from Asheville, North Carolina, representing the legacy of Benny Lake, is Keenan Lake, the author of My Daddy Taught Me That, the book and the program for young men in Asheville, North Carolina, and throughout the region. Tune in to the program, the project, and the book at mydaddytaughtmethat.com. For more information, email lake@mydaddytaughtmethat.com. or call 828-582-2261. That's 828-582-2261. MyDaddyTaughtMeThat.com.
All right, you guys. I'm stirred up, man. I'm stirred up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a lot on my mind regarding this topic. There's a lot on my mind regarding this topic because, you know, the question is, you know, these children, these girls, these young boys, these are our future. Where you gonna go get your you know, your dinner work done, your eyes looked after, you know. You want to go there and you know, we might be able to do some banking or something. I mean, come on. I mean, you might need an attorney, you know. One of our great-grandkids or grandkids may need it. Come on now. I mean, this is our future here. What are we doing? What are we doing? And sometimes I just wonder, I kind of tend to think that we are not displaying the end sample. See, there's an example, and then there's the end sample. This is just my own pip philosophy here, if you'll engage me for a moment. The example is how to do something, but that how to do may not be exhibited according to you. I need some help. But see, the end sample is what parents should be to their children is the end sample, not just the example. You can pick up an example on the outside of your mama's door, but you should pick up an end sample on the inside of your mama's house. I need some help. And the end sample is the example set before you. Oh my goodness. It's the same example that may be plausible and possible outside the door of your mama's house. But the end sample is that which has been displayed before you by those that love you and care about you. And too often, times more than not, we're not displaying, I need some help, a contrite and broken and humble heart as authority figures in the lives of our children. Too many times we're flirting with flesh. I need some help. Too many times we're flirting with control issues, and we're not into the developmental issues of our children or the children around us. We are all seemingly just floating along, doing whatever we're big enough to do, and then we cry wolf when everything goes left. If you want your child to mimic life's possibilities and life's positive philosophies, you and I have to be the end sample of that. That doesn't mean that we don't have our issues. It doesn't mean we don't have our own attractions that we got to deal with, our own fallacies that we have to deal with, our own lack and deficiencies and inequalities. But at the end of the day, it can be well said of us. If my child needs an example, they don't have to look outside the home. They can look at me, because I'm sacrificing. I'm determined. I'm pushing, I'm healing, I'm changing, I'm being honest, I'm apologizing, I'm being sensitive. I need some help. Now, who's coaching our girls like that? Who is being an example, not just telling them to look at another example, but who will be the example, the example that lives with them? I need some help. I need some push. I need some push right there. See, and regarding the sex thing, I mean, we've been over-sexualized here. Everybody has. Everybody can't turn nowhere, no how, at no time without getting some reference to sexualization and the pleasure thereby and what somebody will do to you and do for you. Get up off your bottom. Close your legs. Open your heart and launch your mind. This is what we got to tell our kids. Once you tap into that sexual road, that sexual journey, I promise you, you're going to need so much wisdom. You're going to reach in your bag of tricks. You're going to reach, talking to my kids now. These kids going to reach into the bag of knowledge of what they think they know. And they're going to find, I don't know what I thought I knew, because knowledge is enough for pride. But wisdom will put the fools to rest. This is Coach. I'll come back and close it out.
SIBN Television and Radio Networks. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest at Salette USA TV. That's SALETTE USA TV.
I'm Novula, aka Sunshine, and we here in South Africa are tuned in to SIBN Radio at www.415-96radio.com. If you would like to know more about the SIBN television and radio network, complete a contact form at the website www.415-96radio.com. Salette USA TV, reaching the world.
You're listening to the sounds of your lifestyle improvement station.
Hi, Jamaica Chapel, College Park, Georgia, in the house. You're listening to SIBN Radio.
Hi, this is Ted Bones calling from Richmond, Virginia, and you're listening to the Lifestyle Improvement Station, SIBN Radio. Y'all turn it up now.
Hi, this is VJ Washington calling from Atlanta, Georgia. You're listening to the Lifestyle Improvement Station, SIBN Radio. So turn it up.
Hi, my name is Sonia Claiborne from East St. Louis, Illinois, by way of Columbusville, Missouri. You're listening to the Lifestyle Improvement Station, SIBN Radio. Turn it up.
What's good? It's your boy Joe coming from Snellville, Georgia. You're listening to the Lifestyle Improvement Station, SIBN Radio. Y'all turn it up.
You're listening to the sounds of your lifestyle improvement station, changing the way we live. SIBN FM. Powered by Salette USA TV.
Hey, we're bringing it back, man. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, man. But listen, one of the things that really gets my blood boiling is that while we're playing these games, right, our kids are not getting the life skills that they're going to need to compete in the world where earners dominate. Where earners dominate. And I'm very concerned about the future, where we have a generation of kids who earn their way, who are not necessarily in need of, every 5 freaking minutes, a handout from someone somewhere. Do we all have to be victims? Do we all have to go through hell and high water? Some of it for nothing? Only to have to pay back in dividends via a decade or two of our lives trying to fix what didn't have to be broke? I'm just confused why young ladies are not engaged mentally and intellectually and cognitively and psychosocially. Why the sexism? Are we not degrading our women, our young girls, with all of what we have embraced and signed off on with our cultural mindset of sexualizing anything female? I need some help. And now I'm getting stirred up. And yes, I'm getting pissed off. Why? Because this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with. And we want to make it like it's nothing. Shout out to Sisters Uplifting Sisters, by the way, who are doing fabulous things with sisters who are called big sisters. Listen, I don't care nothing about your size. What God cares about and what people around you care about is what are you here for? What are you doing with your life? What is going to be your contribution? What will they put on the headstone if you have one? What will have been your potential? And is it or will it be fulfilled? This is a cry in my soul. When I see the laziness of our young ladies, always want to party, always want to be in church. Listen, I don't have nothing against church, but that's a trick too. We gotta teach our young ladies that there's a life outside of church, not outside of God, but outside of church. Always in the church is another excuse to hide, to manipulate, to dominate. Don't even get me started on that right there. Every 5 minutes in church. Now, if church got camping, if church has debate skills, if church is doing something other than having a praise song and a teach and a preach, then we can get that. But we gotta have a life here. We gotta raise children. We gotta raise our girls to be all American or global girls. I need some help. How many languages are you speaking? I need some help right there. Are you bilingual yet? And there's no urgency. As I come to a close, there is no urgency for any of these things that I'm talking about. There needs to be a national outcry for help for teens in a real way. But we floated along the path with everybody else. Even you find adults with their pants sagging. I need some help. You find women with their cleavage out on the table. I need some help. But for no reason now. No reason. They ain't headed to the club. They ain't headed to a party. Just ain't got nothing to do but just try to look sexy because that's all they can come up with. Come on, somebody. You are comprised and composed of much more than that. Yes, sexy is sexy and sexy is good. But that's not the totality of our lives. And I want to ask the question again. Who is coaching our girls? Who is telling them that they are power players? Who is teaching them how to negotiate? Who is teaching them how to navigate this life? How to maneuver from survival to thriving? I need some help. How to succeed in life and how to overcome even after they have fallen down. I need some help. Who is teaching our girls finesse and class? Who's teaching our girls that sexy is the new intellectual conversation and not the midnight conversation about what you got on and what I can do to you? I need some help. Y'all don't want to go with me. Yeah, obviously I'm upset now. I'm upset now because this is one of the passions of my life. It's cheering people on so they can cross the finish line. Instead of cheering people on to cross the finish line, you know what we're doing? We're crossing the boundaries of which we should not cross to pleasure ourselves as a society and even as men. Instead of manning up, and put your desires on hold and cheer somebody to the freaking finish line. It's the coach. If you can, if you dare, if you got guts to follow me, do so. Because I'm on fire. I'm bad, and I know it. And this topic, who's coaching our girls, is something you need to discuss with you and yours. Holla back.